Oh, hey guys, welcome back to Too Far Gone Media. Mark Couture here, and today we're going to talk about the WEF. That's right, the WEF, the World Economic Forum. So, as you know, the World Economic Forum had a meeting this weekend in Davos, Switzerland, with some of the world's biggest elites and billionaires with only the expertise of accumulating wealth, and yet here they are making decisions globally and superimposing that onto others. No one elected these people. How are they allowed to make rules for the world and force us to obey them? None of this really makes any sense to me, but today we're going to target a little bit on their spokesperson, the person who the WEF say is the most important person of all, and that's Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg. My apologies. Now, like mentioned, the WEF did deem her to be the most important person in the world. In my opinion, that means she's being groomed for something big. We'll touch base on that at the end. But first, let's take a look, because my issue I have with Greta is I think she's a frontman. I don't think she's real. And you can tell how serious she is just by her reaction to all these serious questions I'm about to show you. Let's take a look.
So how did you get here today? What was your climate footprint in traveling here? Greta, how do you feel about discussing climate change with the delegates here when nearly all of them take private jets? Do you think at least the fact these delegates take private jets is a bad thing against, what you believe in? All of this could be done via Zoom, so surely you should be encouraging all the delegates here, especially the likes of US Special Envoy John Kerry for Special Envoy for Climate Change. Surely you should be saying to these people, you should be doing this via Zoom with a much smaller carbon footprint, surely? Greta, it's getting quite cold in Davos. When can I expect some global warming?
Greta, would you say you're a child actor? Are you a child actor or an expert? How would you describe yourself?
Greta, are there any climate actions planned whilst you're
How
here?
come you never protest Saudi Arabia or Russia? You only protest Western energy. Why have you never criticized Vladimir Putin or OPEC?
Yeah, I've never done that. Never ever.
Will you do so now? Will you condemn OPEC energy?
Greta, can you condemn every single delegate that's come here on a private jet? Surely that's something you should condemn.
You can do it too.
I could do it, but you're the one who has such a strong stance against climate change. And, if it's true, I commend your efforts, but could you condemn them taking private jets to these meetings?
Why won't you condemn private jets? Have you ever been on a private jet even once?
I own 100 private jets.
Well, have you been on, how about once? Have you ever been on a private jet?
All the time, yes.
I wonder why you won't answer me in a straight answer.
Opportunity to stop and tell us what you care about and what you're fighting against. You seem to be joining the establishment, not fighting them anymore. Are you not one of them?
One of who?
What, the people on the private jets and the helicopters flying in here to tell us how to live our lives?
Yes, because I have many private jets of my own, yes.
It's okay. I want to move here.
The point being, you have to condemn all of them equally, otherwise it's hypocrisy, right?
Greta, where did you learn everything you know about things like climate change? Where did you learn all that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I knew.
So if you wish you knew, how do you know so much? Surely if you know so much, you would know where you learned all this from, surely?
Who has said that I know so much?
Well, because you are deemed as an expert worldwide when it comes to climate change. You speak on global stages when it comes to climate change, and ultimately some of the things you say lead global policy.
If that was the case, then the world would look completely different, I assure you.
World Economic Forum, committed to improving the state of the world. Like hell you are. So, wow, where do we even go with this? A lot of people think that Greta is, like an angel from heaven. I think she's something quite the opposite, really. I think she is somebody being molded, somebody being groomed for something big, something really big, like how Freeland was groomed by Schwabs and then sent to the Canadian government, and then all of a sudden the entire Liberal caucus is part of the WEF, and we're soon going to put an end to that. To me, she's more like a Trojan horse and made to infiltrate using her innocent values, or what seems to be that. Now, as most of you know, Greta Thunberg was in Germany recently protesting and opposing the coal mines that they had to open up so that they could stay warm this winter and not die. And so she felt like going over there and, being the opposition to people surviving the winter over there. So that is the mentality of our Greta. And not just that, apparently she was arrested. But the footage will show otherwise, that she was not arrested. It was all a script. Let's check that
Greta,
out.
how many times did you rehearse your arrest at the German coal mine? How many times did you rehearse it? Because it looked staged. Is it true? How many times did you rehearse your arrest, Greta? How many times did you film your arrest, and why was it staged that way? Defending you?
Yeah. It's very likely that the German police and RWE fossil fuel company would stage an arrest.
How many times were you arrested? Because you posed for several times, didn't you?
Sure.
I'm going to tell you all right now, it's all smoke and mirrors, okay? This is a global government starting to come together. Okay, they have their own police now. Yes, that's right. They have their own police now. It's not looking too good. We need to hold these people accountable because this is way too far gone. And let's take a little bit more of a look as what happened in the past, and let's look at their own lies.
Myself, except now I have to explain why we have chosen this theme. But you never have heard from me political statements or economic statements which are, let's say, in any way influencing political personalities.
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, is that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
But you never have heard from me political statements or economic statements which are, let's say, in any way influencing political personalities.
Why though you lying? Why you always
The clear and present danger of disinformation is our conversation here this afternoon. It follows a session just now about disrupting distrust, and of course those are connected, so I hope that's where we can start.
Well, we need the people who understand the language and the case law in the country, because what qualifies as hate speech, as illegal hate speech, which you will have soon also in the US. I think that we have a strong reason why we have this in the criminal law. We need the platforms to simply work with the language and to identify such cases. The AI would be too dangerous.
Because our people, I think, which is so often the case in democracy, people are smarter than their leaders. Certainly speaking for Canada, Canadians got this on day one. They understand that we need to stand up for democracy and democratic values, but they also understand our economies, our security, the fact that nuclear deterrence actually works. All of these critical things are really being decided on the battlefields of Ukraine right now. So I am, of course, worried. We would be stupid not to be. But I am ultimately profoundly confident.
The problem that we have is the open press system and basically all the platforms. So if you're able to have 5 platforms, social platforms, that you can basically personify the extremes, somebody who is extremely right or extremely left, and it seems like that is the majority speaking. They're not the majority. but they're basically driving everybody to make a decision. What side are you on? Are you on this side or this side?
Well, I'm sure as hell not on his side, and I hope you're not either. Now, a lot of the people in this world is getting sick and tired of the WEF because they're the ones that are enforcing this whole cutting back on food production and stuff like that, making the world starve. To me, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, their agenda is very personalized and tailored to themselves, and we're but a problem to them. So, I want to show you what's starting to happen to the world leaders that are backed by the WEF. Let's check this out.
And so today I'm announcing that I will not be seeking re-election, and that my term as Prime Minister will conclude no later than the 7th of February.
Now, the damage that that Prime Minister did to her country is completely incomprehensible. It'll take a long time for them to come back, and I hope everybody helps them, because we all need to stand together against the WEF. Remember their motto: you will own nothing and you will be happy. Like hell I will. This is Marc Couture for Too Far Gone Media. Stay sexy, Canada. Ow, ow.